Hello, welcome to the Severna Republic again. So, in this episode, or this video, this whatever, I'm going to construct a new power plant for Severna, as the 3 power plants that we have at the moment are all reaching absolute capacity, and this is causing brownouts. So, I'm going to build a new lignite plant which will have around 3,500 megawatt hours output, so that will be more than enough for about the next year, I expect, as my population is really beginning to climb now. I think at present I have about 3,500 over 21-year-olds. So, as well as the new power plant, I'm also going to construct a lot of new housing, and I think that I'm also going to have to build a new mine as well, because the this lignite plant that I'm constructing runs off coal ore as opposed to coal. So it's quite dirty. It's got a dirty power supply in real life, but this is just a game, so there we are. So I've selected the area that we're going to build it, so it's going to be right over here, near District 3, near the supply of coal, which is in these cliffs here that you can see on the left of the image there. So I've flattened out a nice piece of ground. I don't want it too close to that housing over there, so I'm going to put the cooling tower up here, away from where it's going to be, where the housing is going to be, which will be, see just there on the right of the screen there, you can see the tower blocks for the people there. So connect up the cooling pipes there, connecting up all of there, all of this, all of that, all of the other. I'm going to need another little storage, an area for another of its own storage for the lignite, to make sure that it's not going to suddenly run out if the steel plant is producing a lot of steel and taking a lot of the coal ore. So connect all this up here. So this is quite an awkward bit here, because to make sure that all of that conveyor belt gets constructed, you're going to have to make sure that there are paths and roads so that the construction vehicles are able to get there. So you want to make sure that all of everything goes green, and then we can set that to run, and that plant shall slowly be built. Now, the new housing, as you can see here, that I'm constructing, this is a little while ago, so this is slightly out of date. It's about a week behind where I actually am. I recorded this video last week, and I'm only just doing the voiceover for it now, so I'm ever so sorry, but I'm sort of watching this along with you, and just seeing what I did in the past. So yeah, I'm trying to get as much housing in this small area here, because I don't want to build too close to where the mine's going to be, which will be up against those cliffs there. So I think at this stage, I believe I had around, I think it was about 6,000 over 21-year-olds without their own home. I managed to get rid of around half of those in this estate, this housing development just here. So I believe that this was space for about 3,500 people, because those the two blocks, the two biggest blocks there can hold about 2,000 people in them. So you always want to make sure that you've connected them all, build all the roads to them. I don't know how you guys play, but what I always like to do is I build the buildings and everything all with my own construction industry, but paths and roads and basic infrastructure, I do tend to use the cash reserves for that, because it just saves loads. So waiting for them to build paths and everything does take a long time, and then you have to go back again to make sure then that you've also the construction buildings are recognizing that there are now buildings to be built after they've built the roads going to them, because that doesn't always work, and you won't always have your entire construction industry working towards that. It may only be buildings which are physically within range, whereas if you use the grouped construction sites, then you know that every construction building is working towards that. Because what I also like to do as well, I don't know whether anyone else does this, but every time I build a bus stop, I will always build one of the tiny little construction offices. That's the word I'm looking for, construction offices. So that every bus stop has got at least one construction office with some buses on it. So people will be drawn from all over your republic to help construct the buildings. So my goal with this city, I've mentioned before, is to try and get as close to 1 million people living in it as I can. I do realise this will be a struggle, as I don't have a supercomputer, and the amount of traffic and distribution vehicles that will be required for a state that size will be quite high, but I'm going to give it a go. I think out of all of the republics that I've built, I think the biggest that I have ever, the largest population I've ever managed to achieve was about 250 to 300,000 people, and that was a very inefficient city. I don't think my people were overly happy on that, whereas with this, as you can see at the top there, I do want to try and keep people as happy as possible, employment as low as possible, because you can build a republic that has 1 million people in it, but if you've got 1 million people with 60% happiness, high unemployment, high death rate, high escape rate, it's not real. It's not a real country. It's not functioning correctly, and so it kind of goes against what I want to achieve. So here we are. So we've got all of the new housing made, which will be employees for the new mine that will be constructed here. So as you can see now, all of the vehicles are there in the background constructing the plant. It's not very far for them to travel, because the actual where all the main construction offices are is just there behind the steel plant, behind where those two rock outcrops are. So they've not got to travel very far. And you can see all the buses now arriving at the construction areas. So these buses are coming from all over the republic and creating quite an efficient construction there. I mean, those blocks of flats, you can see they are just almost like flying up. And you can also see the reason why the power station is being constructed, as there are rolling brownouts across Severna at the moment. But all vital infrastructure is supplied with power, but we are reaching the absolute ceiling of what we are able to achieve, and any major failures of any power plants or infrastructure will result in a complete blackout. And obviously, yes, sometimes those are very difficult to get out of once they really start to take hold, especially if people start to get annoyed and actually start leaving your republic. You may have to then order in a load of immigration, which again, it's something you can do for the game, but again, if you're constantly patching up things that are fundamentally wrong with your republic, then it's not functioning right, and you need to change what you're doing there. So we can see all of the steel being delivered. Those blocks of flats are going up very quickly. Whenever I do anything like this with these time lapses, you are constantly you're checking that your trains are running correctly. You're checking that you've not got any major issues that are going on. I don't think I notice until afterwards when I'm recording this, but I do actually have quite a serious train lock-up, and no grain is actually being imported. But I think I had something like 8,000 tons of food in storage, so I don't actually realise until I was just about to run out. So yeah, doing time lapses like these, they're visually good, and that, you know, I do enjoy doing them, but you've got to be really aware that before you do it, that you have a functioning republic, as things can go very, very wrong, especially when you get rid of the UI and you can't see the stats right in front of you. So yeah, so this power plant, I think to build it from cash was something like 3 million rubles. So there's a lot of machinery going into it, and a lot of steel and a lot of concrete. So all the vehicles, I mean, look at all them prefab panels on them trucks coming in now. And again, all of the buses, look. So all them buses are bringing workers in from across the Republic. So wherever so I always notice that if I'm not doing any construction in the Republic, then my unemployment rate can sometimes jump up by around 5%, as there are a lot of people will be employed in construction when that's going ahead. More rolling brownouts. This area that we see here is not just that this is the newest area or anything like that. It is because I have an electrical heating plant, which, even though you can connect them up with a high voltage power line directly into it, they still seem to draw a lot of power from your low voltage grid in the area, and they will cause flickering and brownouts unless they're supplied direct, and I mean directly, by a power plant. You know, you need to build one nearby. So in a way, I kind of think like, well, why not just build, if you're gonna have to build the power plant there, why not just build a heating plant? But it was an emergency at the time, and I didn't want to have to build a coal power plant where I was going to have to be importing a lot more coal, as the steel industry at the moment, as you can see there, the steel plant is really chugging out, as the state is currently using a lot of steel to produce to construct this lignite plant here. So we're approaching construction now. I'm sorry, but I do just love as much as I've played the longest I've played this game, I still love watching the construction happen, watching all the vehicles arrive. I can remember when I first started playing it, I used to do everything without I just used to look in the construction tab, and it just used to blag my head. I just, oh my god, you know, I just can't work this out, what, you know, all these different things that I need to produce and build. But it really does once you've cracked that and you've got that going, it really does make the game so much more enjoyable. I think watching your creation slowly come to life, instead of it just suddenly all being, you know, built out of nowhere. You actually feel like a real sense of, and also I think that when you're watching something slowly be built like that, you can think, oh no, I've done this wrong, or oh, there's a slightly better way of doing that. And so it's a lot easier and a lot cheaper to maybe have to demolish half a built building than demolish an entire building. I know that we have the construction materials recycling now, but I've not quite embraced all of that yet. I mean, I do have the garbage setting on. I have, obviously, as you know, Severna does have landfills and incinerators, but that's it at the time being. I just basically just have them. I haven't really gone into the recycling side of things and everything yet. Maybe as time goes on and the resources on the island do start to dwindle, then we may have to readdress that as a republic. So boom, there we go. So oh, looks like I've had an interesting little quirk of editing there. It was constructed and now it's not. So yeah, that's fail. This is all still pretty new to me, making videos. I've made, you know, as you can see, I've made a lot of like time-lapse videos and things like that, but actually giving commentary and speaking on my videos, this is quite a new thing. And I you know, I don't know how, I don't think I'm very good at it, to be fair. I'm not very good at sort of bringing everything together in a cohesive way. I just sort of ramble on through my videos. Look at that little windmill there. Look at him go. Oh, there we go. She's stopped. And there it goes again. Oh, no, stop. No, we go. So yeah, so we're gonna watch the plant be constructed twice. I don't know what I did there. I don't know what I did wrong. So Severna has now got a new lignite plant. You can see there, look at all the steel being collected, all these trucks collecting the steel and getting straight back onto the road. All the power flickering, lovely. Look at the trains whipping around. Whew. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a big lockup going on, but not the passenger side, not the passenger network. It's actually the goods network that the lockup happens. That's another thing actually. What I try and do as well is it's not always possible. You do obviously have to have some crossover, but I do always try and have two separate rail networks. So I try and have the passenger network with all your passenger trains and your goods and distribution network with all of your with all of the goods trains on. I mean, obviously they do share certain lines, but it just means if the one locks up, it's not locking up the entire Republic, which back in the day when I first started the game, there we go, the lignite plant's built once again, and then I'm just going to connect that straight into here, so hopefully that electrical heating plant will now have sufficient power. So I hope you enjoyed this rambling video of me not telling you much about how to play the game, but there you go. This is a new power plant constructed in Severna as we were reaching the capacity ceiling and it was causing problems. Oh, I hope I delete that wire there. Look, it's not straight. I don't think I do. It's like I need everything that I need, that high voltage, the lower high voltage to go onto that. Why have I done that? What are you doing? What are you considering? Past, comrade. What? You're just connecting it back to the... What? Right, I'm going to have to actually go back into the game and just make sure that to sort out those wires there. Okay, so that was the construction of a new lignite plant. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned maybe something. And I'll follow up with the construction of the plant, construction of the actual mine in the next video. Thank you very much for listening today. Have a good one. Ta-da.
Mm-hmm.